गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम बैक टू पैसा बोलता है। पैसा बोलता है में फिर से आपका स्वागत है। मैं आज इंडिया की स्टार्टअप सेक्टर के बारे में बात करना चाहता हूँ। स्टार्टअप सेक्टर में पहले बार संकट की बादल हर तरह लहर रही है और कोई बहुत सारा जॉब कट हो रही है, स्पेंडिंग कट हो रही है, कंपनियों का वैल्यूएशन गिर रहा है। इसका क्या कारण है, इसको आज हम विस्तार रूप से देखेंगे। Welcome back to Paisa Bolta hai. Today I want to talk about the state of the startups in India. Startups are really struggling in India at this point of time. There are big valuation cuts. All the big international investors have cut valuation of large companies. Companies are facing court cases. Companies have squeezed spending. There are a lot of job cuts. The smaller ones have gone belly up. They have closed operations. Some have sold out to others. And this is what they are calling it as the funding winter. Basically, what has happened, interest rates in America have gone up from 0 to 5 to 5.5. Wealthy investors were pledging their assets and taking huge sums of money at zero interest and giving it to private equity managers and venture capitalists to play Ludo or roll the dice scheme with these startups. None of these startups are ever going to make profits. We are only looking at valuations, eyeballs, and revenues. Basically, they were playing a game of musical chess, passing the parcel with one among each other and inflating value every time the parcel passed. Since there was a limited number of players, the valuation kept going higher and higher with one buying out the other. Very few companies actually made profits. People like SoftBank had one major winner in Alibaba and with that reputation raised several $billions from sovereign funds and were passing the parcel. At this point of time, it looks several of India's large startups will fold up even before they go public. Big ones have lost huge valuations. So today we will take a look at what is happening in this industry. We will start, of course, with Byju's. Byju's is practically bankrupt. Baiju was the poster boy. What was it that Baiju started with? Baiju started with an idea that you could give tuitions online. And during COVID, the business boomed. He used Shah Rukh Khan to advertise as a brand ambassador and took volumes to sky high. But at no time was Byju's profitable. When business started growing, he tempted a lot of venture capitalists and private equity players to invest in that company. Using the money that came from private equity investors, he bought into several other startups, two prominent ones being Akash and the other being White Hat Jr. Since then, White Hat Jr. has been shuttered completely, and Akash is the only one which is generating free cash flow. The Goldman Sachs, I think it is Goldman Sachs or any other private equity investor who had invested in Akash and the promoters of Akash had to receive money from Byju's. Even that money was received after a long delay. The only cash cow in the Baiju empire is Akash, and by the time the funding winter suddenly landed on them, there was no way they could raise money. There was a shady private equity player called Samandu Ventures, which promised to invest a lot of money at $22 billion but did not invest any money. To tide over this problem, Byju's took a loan of $1.2 billion from several investors. Last week, a lawsuit was filed in a Delaware court by Glass Trust Company and an investor Timothy R. Roth are demanding that US assets be liquidated and they be paid back 500 to 800 million dollars. The sad truth is those assets are worth only 800 million in paper. Actually, when you want to go and sell, you are not going to receive anything. The claim of these creditors is that the convents agreed in the loans were breached and money was taken out of the company. And so this case has started. This case is against one of the subsidiaries of Baiju and Riju Ravindranath, who is the younger brother of Baiju Ravindranath. Both Riju Ravindranath and Baiju's wife Divya Ravindranath had sold some of their stake and withdrew money. This has angered the investors who have questioned several practices in the company. The honest truth is that there is no money for investors to invest, and Byju's is having a severe cash crunch. The problem was with the Byju's model where they guaranteed the loans given by NBFCs for students and they have to pay the EMIs or repay the loan in full. So the cash flow required keeps on increasing as more and more students default. So now what the investors who have filed the suit are saying, you pay us the money before taking any cash, or any cash that comes into the company must be used to pay them off. Byju's is of course denying this, and this case will drag on in court. The Byju's was planning for a $1 billion IPO of only its Akash unit so that it can generate cash to pay off its immediate needs. But unfortunately, that will not play out because market conditions are extremely poor and it is not possible for Byju's to go through an IPO and raise that kind of money without diluting a big amount of the stake. To complicate matters, last month there was a raid by the Enforcement Directorate in Byju's office where it claims that 28,000 crores of money which have flown in and flown out of the company has not been accounted properly. Subject to this, there is a lot of hard soul searching by the same venture capitalists who hailed this as a messiah. BlackRock has now reduced its valuation by 50% to $11.5 billion. The problems are not restricted to only Byju's. Swiggy is also facing a problem. Now, Bain Capital says Swiggy's valuation has been reduced from $10.7 billion to $7.3 billion, which is 32% fall. Invesco has slashed its valuation to $5.5 billion, which is practically a 50% fall. Janice Henderson says Pharmacy's valuation should be cut by 50% to $2.5 billion from $5.6 billion. Vanguard says Ola's valuation has to be cut by 35% to $4.4 billion from $7.3 billion. Process has already valued Byju's at $6 billion. So this is really a problem because Byju's raised the last funding at $22 billion. SoftBank has been desperate to get rid of Oyo. It valued it at $10 billion. It's now at $2.7 billion. Even this is really sky high valuation. The real valuation of Oyo is zero. You just try booking a hotel through Oyo, paying money. You will find that there is no such hotel. There is no way Oyo can be valued at $2.7 billion. The market sentiment is depressed because cost of capitals have gone up. And so cash burn has increased, valuations have decreased, and growth has vanished. Like crypto, these companies are seeing reality. Therefore, India is going to see several thousand jobs lost, and already several thousand jobs have been cut. This is going to intensify, and lot of highly skilled people are going to be standing in line for a new job. The new job will come at lower salaries because there is no cash to burn, and investors have burnt a lot of money, and this will hurt the ability of some investors to repay the loans they have taken against their assets. This has a cascading effect across the world. Thank you for watching Paisa Bolta Hai. If you like this content, like our video, turn on the bell notification and subscribe to our channel. If you have already done so, kindly send this video to your friends and relatives and have them take a look. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद। पैसा बोलता है में फिर से आपका स्वागत है। मैं सिंगापुर गया था। सिंगापुर में सब भारतीय लोग मुझे प्यार से स्वागत किया और वो जो मीटिंग हुआ उसमें तो बहुत सारे अतिथियों से मुलाकात हुई और ये तो कंप्लीट सक्सेस हो गया। अगले मीटिंग जून 11 रविवार को हम कोलालमपुर में करने वाले हैं। जो कोलालमपुर में रहते हैं वो मीटिंग में आ सकते हैं और मुझे मिल सकते हैं। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, जय हिंद।